Hello, I am David W. Parker. This is Programming Today I Learned Basics. So today we're going to be looking at GitHub and Git just a little bit more, a few more commands. We'll go ahead and run through some examples. I will do a basic setup of a project on, or a repo on GitHub, excuse me. And we'll just do a little bit just to kind of play with it, and you can kind of see how it's starting to work. The nice thing with this is your code, you can't really mess it up. Well, this is not true. You can mess it up, but if you make a clone of a repo, you can't really mess it up. So let's go ahead and just take a look. So we're going to look at a few commands: git checkout, git branch, git merge, git fetch, git pull, and maybe a couple other things along the way. So I'm on my GitHub account here, and I can click this drop down and say new repository, and we're going to call it awesome. This is not going to exist by the time this goes live. This is just going to be a temporary thing for this example, so you could follow along. I'm going to say create repository. So here we go. We have his instructions for creating a new repo on the command line or push to an existing repo. So let's go ahead, and we have this haha branch from before. Clear the log and say git log. You can see we had our couple commands from last time. We're still using master. We're going to go ahead and reset that to main. So we're going to do this git branch dash main. That's going to rename our master branch. We're going to go ahead and git remote add origin. So you can make this a little bit bigger for you guys to see. So I didn't put these in our commands that we're going to do through today, but this is git remote. It's going to list out any remote branches we have. A remote branch, or an origin rather, a place, you can call it something other than origin, is a place off of your computer that has this entire Git repo history. So we're saying, hey, git at github.com has this access. Now, if you're doing this command, you may have to log into GitHub for the first time. I'm not going to follow those instructions right now. I believe you can find those easily on GitHub's help, as I'm already logged in. And then we'll go ahead and say git push, and then to the origin main here. And it's going to push up what we've done so far. Now, if I refresh this page, you can see here it says second commit. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller again. And it has 2 commits. You can look at the diff between each and see what was changed. And we could see any of the branches we have here. So let's create some branches, and let's go ahead and have some fun. So I like to, I double check everything because it's what I do. You can say git branch, we have 0 other branches. So the first one we're going to use here is we're going to use git checkout. And I have a follow along here. You could take a look. I'll be adding to this because it's incomplete. First thing we're going to do is called git checkout -b. And that's going to, so if we run git checkout, it says that's up to date. And I'm going to go checkout -h. You can see this lowercase -b command here is going to create and check out a new branch. So switches branch or stores working tree files. That's what this says. And you can look at the entire document if you want. So we're going to call that command. We'll just call it branch name, sure. So now if I look at git status, you can see I'm on branch name. And if I type git branch, you can see there's 2 branches here, git branch name and git main. So now if I git checkout main, switch back to main. Now, what does this look like? If I go to my git graph here, you can see, let me make sure I'm loading up. I need to add this folder to the workspace. Hold on for me a second. Add. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and check out, look at haha. You can see here's main and here's branch name. So we can kind of reference that. Now, if I go clear and I'm on this main again, so I can say git checkout branch name again. Now, if I go ahead and let's say I check out main again, and I do the -b, it's going to say error. because it already exists. So this is for the creation flag. So now we can be on this branch. Now, what does it mean to be working on this branch? It kind of means like you're at a fork in the road and you have two different sections where you can kind of go and create. You have this main section and then you have the branch name section. So we're going to go ahead and I said touch test.txt, but that already exists. So I'm going to go ahead and just open this test.txt and we're going to make another change to it. And so if we go get status, you'll see it's been modified. This is stuff we did last time. We will add it. We will commit it. And then if we go ahead and look at our branch again, you can see now that the main is back here on the second commit and latest is with this new one. And you could see what the exact change was. So this is where it gets fun with branches, right? So you have another change and I'm on branch name. Now, if I go git checkout main, you can see that this change has disappeared because that does not exist in this timeline. So again, it's only exists in this branch name timeline, not on the main. So what we can do is we can go ahead and start to merge in that information from these branches. And this is where you kind of like can see the future and have a lot of employees working with a lot of different things and do cool things. So what we're going to do is we're going to merge branch name into main. So we're going to say git merge branch name. And now it says updating, and it says fast forward test.txt plus 2 insertions. So if I say git branch here, you can see I'm still in main. And here it is. Our text is there. We have pulled it in. So what does this look like on our graph here? You could see it's all caught up to the latest. And then I can go ahead and say git branch lowercase d. We'll kill anything that's already been merged in. That's delete. And if something has not been merged in, you can do uppercase D to override it. So now I say git branch, and you can see it's been deleted. So we're going to do another checkout. Call it branch 2. We are going to, so we're checked out on this new branch. Cool. I'll just add it real quick. And then we're going to check out main. And you can see your branch is ahead of origin main. So in fact, origin is the code here. So we haven't pushed this up yet. So if I look here, you can see it says the same hello YouTube and UN, and it's ahead of origin. So if I go ahead and do a git push origin main, that'll push this up to the main branch. So now you can see latest was done 3 minutes ago and it has that change. So I have this other code from branch 2 that's been pushed. I could say git push origin branch 2. And it's going to go ahead and push this up to GitHub. And it says create a pull request for branch 2 by visiting yada, yada, yada. So now if I refresh this, GitHub gives me this option to create a pull request. And then I can also see I have multiple branches here in this little dropdown. If I click on that, you can see it says updated text cool. And then if I click over here to go back to branch main, I can see that it has just the latest. I could click on this little 2 branches thing and you could see the different branches here. Stale means something that's not been worked on for a while, etc. Yours are the ones you've created. You know, when you're working with a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of branches. So I can create a new pull request. This is a GitHub specific thing. This is not a Git thing. You can fill out your information. You can assign it to a milestone or a label or project. You might want to say fixes issue. Let's create an issue real quick. So I'm over on issues and I say new issue. Again, issues are a GitHub thing, not a Git thing. Make it cool. Submit new issue. You can see it's number 1 up here. I go back to my pull request I'm saying, and I can say fixes number 1. And create pull request. Now I have this pull request, and it says fixes number 1, which is a nice link. And it has this linked issues down here. You can go ahead and see what files have been changed. So if they have a bunch of files, you could see all of them and you can review them. I don't believe you can review your own code, but other people can review your code. You can see the number of commits. So if you've committed a bunch of times on this branch, in fact, let's go do that real quick. Let's go ahead and let's see what we're on. We're on main, cal branch 2. And we want it to be like super cool. So we're going to make it super cool. We'll just let it here. Now it's super cool. And I can say git push origin branch 2. It's going to push it up. So I have the same branch, and this branch is what is on the pull request. So now if I go ahead and I look at the same pull request, you can see I have cool. Now it's super cool. And I have 2 commits. You can see the change from each if I want. Or I can just look at the cumulative changes over here in File Changes. Again, you can check them out as well over here. So we're going to go ahead and let's look at our Git graph here. You can see super cool is in a separate spot. We're going to go ahead and merge it via GitHub rather than via the local system. So we're going to say pull or merge pull request, confirm merge. And it says pull request successfully merged and closed. You're all safe set. The branch can be deleted. So you can delete it or you can keep it around if you need to for some reason. You can also restore it if you do delete. So now I deleted it. I went back over here. It says I only have 1 branch now. So that's great. And it says now super cool on the main branch on this file. Now I'm go ahead and git checkout main, git checkout main. And it said, look, I'm not super cool here locally. So what do I need to do, right? This is where you can do fetch and pull. So fetch, download object rest from another repository. And pull performs a git, is shorthand for git fetch followed by git merge. So I said git fetch here. It's going to go ahead and pull down everything from the main branch, and it lets me know it hasn't done anything with it. So, and it still says I'm behind. And it can be fast forwarded. I generally don't use git fetch that much because then you have to do the merge manually. So I'll say git pull origin main. So that's going to go from our origin. So if I say git remote, you can see in -v, origin for pushing and fetching is this awesome location. So git pull origin main has pulled it from the main branch from our origin, which is this GitHub repository, and updated this text.txt. So now we're super cool again. I know this is a lot. Watch this video a couple times if you're really learning. This is a pretty good introduction level things that you should know how to do when you're joining a job. You might have multiple remotes. I can create a separate repo up here and have a second repo. So let's go ahead and just do another one. Awesome2, or amenity. It's type English. We'll just say awesome2, create repo. And let's see if we wanted to try to add this again, right? We have git remote add origin, yada, yada. If I do that, it says fatal origin already exists. So we're going to add it to origin. I'll just call it origin2, or you can call it whatever. So git remote -v, we have origin, and we have whatever. So we can go in now and say git push whatever main. And this is going to go ahead and push it up to that new awesome2. So we have 2 different repos now, one called awesome and one called awesome2. And we can go ahead and work with each of these distinctly if we want. Generally speaking, you're not going to have multiple repos on GitHub for the same thing. most likely, unless you're forking somebody else's code. The other thing you might do is maybe you're using GitLab. You might have a backup somewhere else other than GitHub in case GitHub went down. Now, let's talk briefly about vendor lock-in. So issues, projects, pull requests, all of that is GitHub specific. It's not Git specific. So if you live in GitHub and you have all of your issues here and you do all of your merging via pull requests through GitHub, and let's say you do CI through GitHub Actions. CI is continuous integration. You could run tests, example, against your code. And you're using projects, then it might not help you to have separate places for GitLab, etc. You might have the backup though, just in case you need to do a deployment or something, as long as you don't have everything 100% through GitHub. Now, if you do everything through GitHub, that's fine. It's just a matter of, if it goes down, which it does from time to time, you might not be able to do certain things that you normally would do. Create some repos for yourself, kind of click through everything. You can kind of just explore. If it's just a do area, I can delete both of these repos by going to the settings. I think it's just under options, scrolling all the way down, deleting these, and I still have my whole repo on my local machine. If I was to delete both of the repositories and then also delete it from my local machine, then I'm kind of hosed. But let's go ahead and delete this one. This one's called, it says awesome2. Delete it. Give it my password, confirm. And it says it was deleted. So I still have, so if I say git push whatever main, now it's going to say that doesn't exist anymore. So we'll do ahead and say git remote -v, git remote, I think it's remove whatever. Okay, removed -v. Yep, and now it's gone. Now let's do the other side of things. Let's go ahead and delete it from my local machine. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to say remove rf, haha. So now I can't cd into it because it doesn't exist anymore. So, oh my gosh, all my code is gone. It says it's deleted. It says bang because it's freaking out. Well, what can we do about that? We can clone it. So we're going to go ahead and say, we're on awesome here. We're going to go ahead and say code. We have SSH, we have HTTPS, GLI, GitHub CLI. I'm using SSH, so I'm going to copy that. You can download it with a zip file or open GitHub desktop if you're using that application, or a zip file. You can use other integrations, but I'm just going to write git clone and then paste that URL in. And I want it to go into the directory ha. Otherwise, it'll clone it into the directory of the repository name, which would be awesome. It says cloning into haha. Now I can cc cd into haha again, and everything exists. If I look here, I might need to have this be refreshed because VS Code. We'll just actually remove this folder and we'll add, oops, not new folder. We'll add aha again. You can see it's still here. We can still look again at our Git graph. And you could see here is our main and everything is pulled. Fun thing, so you could see we did that merging over on GitHub. We didn't merge it here. So when we did the merge for the locally, it just stayed on the same path here. And you can see we have this other branch that had multiple commits to it, and then those got merged back in, and then we pulled it down from when we did our git pull. So we can also look at our history here. You could see everything that was updated. And you could see this new commit, very top one, it says merge pull request. That was the one when we merged, when we took the pull request on GitHub and said merge, it created this new commit. So it's a lot, I know. Take it all in, play around with the commands. You can't really mess it up. Make a new, like I did here, make a new folder with just a single file. Play around with git pushing, git pulling, fetch, merge, whatever. If you have to, just delete the file, delete the directory, and start over. Git init, git add. It's something that you should be practicing and you should be familiar with. That being said, you can use other tools like GitHub Desktop or source control built into the VS Code if you don't want to have to do it manually. And so let's do another here. And so you can see here's a change. Now I could say stage the changes. That would be like doing git add. Now it's staged. And then I could say, I don't know if there's a way to just commit from here, but I think it'd behoove you to play around with the CLI and understand the command line interface for Git. But also, like I said, you can do it in other ways. Just play around with it. It's a super tool. It's something that you should know how to use as a developer. And I hope you guys like this. If you do, support me on Patreon or buy me a coffee. Like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Thanks.